Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Cognition Ignition. Today's my fourth live stream, and today what I want to go over is some of the practical ways that you can start preparing for winter. If you're like me, then winter is a very busy time. There's a lot of holidays and things like that, and you kind of have to take care of them no matter what. So for myself, I actually do a couple things before the holiday season to get me ready for that. Also, I've talked to a lot of people, including who's recently realized that during the winter months, it's actually a lot harder to get energized. They call it seasonal affective disorder, depression. Um, I don't really suffer from it too bad, but I have found ways to make sure that I don't really have any of the negative side effects from it. So I'm going to go over some of the things that I do in the winter that I change up to help myself physiologically and mentally. But we're going to start with some of the practical things that you can be doing right now. One thing I want to say is that I'm just going to talk to you guys about how I started doing this, preparing long before winter. When I was running my construction company, we would plow in the winter, and when I first started, I would basically just go out and plow because I had a truck and some shovels. And I would always run into a bunch of problems. The first few storms, I would be out for like 24 hours at a time. A lot of it was pointless because it was just if I had planned a little better, I would have had more time, or I would have spent less time actually plowing driveways and fixing my truck in the middle of a driveway. So my second and third year in business, I had already been tracking what had come up earlier on, and I was able to fix some of those things. A lot of it was just basic organization, preparing my trucks ahead of time instead of just assuming they would be ready when the snow started coming down. So one of the first places that I really start with now, even though I'm not snow plowing, I still go into getting myself set up for a seasonal change. I do this almost every season. I think winter's a bigger change than going into summer. You do get longer days in summer. You get more sunlight. Naturally, your body is going to be working to its potential. It's going to get most of its vitamin D with no problems and things like that. So it's a little bit easier to work in the warmer weather. So for myself right now, what I've been doing actually the past couple of days is organizing my own home and my office here. I've actually brought a lot of things to begin putting on the walls and things like that, just to keep myself organized going into the next season. And then at my own house, a lot of it is that I want to be able to play video games. Pretty much in the winter, the new God of War comes out next month, and I'm pre-ordering it today actually. So I do plan on spending a lot of time at home. And in order to do that, I need to make sure that while I'm home, I don't have a bunch of things to do. So I've been going through all of my drawers, my cabinets, cleaning, doing basically a deep clean. One big thing is that I put all my summer clothes away. Anything that I would wear in the summer that I'm not planning to wear in the winter goes away. That way I don't even have to think about it during that period of time. It also clears a lot of space for me to put a lot of my other things out that I enjoy doing in the winter. So that's the first thing, is if you can really get in, this even includes like, hey, if you own your own house, go out and get your winter organization done. So when you go and have to do snow plowing, you don't have a bunch of stuff sitting in your driveway. Well, you might be shoveling or snow blowing, but you don't have rocks that you go snow blow and things like that. So learning that, you can prepare way ahead of time for the things that are inevitable is definitely going to help you in the winter kind of be able to do the hibernation that you probably want to do, like myself. That's what I consider my video games to be. It's my ability to kind of take a break, hibernate a little bit, but I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't fully prepared. Now, the second thing is something I've talked about before, but right now is the best time to absolutely do it, and it's to set your New Year's resolution 3 months ahead of time. If you did it already, because you've heard me say this before, you did it back in July, great for you. But if you can do it right now, set your New Year's resolution and really begin working on your New Year's resolution. For me, it's that I'm going to be disciplined. And what I need to be disciplined is I decided I was going to start doing jujitsu, which is going to be a main theme in most of these live streams that I'm doing. So that's me working on my New Year's resolution right now. If you get ahead of it, actually, then when January comes around and everyone else sets their New Year's resolution, you will be ahead of it enough that you won't feel like part of the herd who's starting up your resolution and going to quit when everybody else in the herd decides to quit. You will feel a little bit ahead of yourself, because really a New Year's resolution is just another norm that people follow. There's no real reason to set a New Year's resolution. You can work on yourself at any point in time. And the earlier you do it, the more benefit you're going to see when everyone else shows up and they started later than you on the same resolution. So if you can do that, that'll definitely make your winter a little bit easier. If you decide to do some kind of sport, you'll be able to be conditioned throughout the winter, which is definitely important, because this is going to bring me into my next thing, which is to really start considering if you have already tracked that you get some kind of affective disorder in the winter, then you can begin working to prevent that through supplementation, through changing your diet. And one thing I'm actually going to start doing, I used to do this actually a few years back when I realized it, actually, was I actually started to enter into a tanning bed a couple of days a week, because you don't get nearly as much sunlight. You don't get the intensity of sunlight in the winter months. So what worked for me was definitely going into a tanning bed and allowing the UV light to basically help with any vitamin deficiencies that I was going through at the time. And one thing I want you guys to think about is, like, you're not going to be able to perfect it this year, but if you begin working on it, you'll notice where things are and are not working out for you. And next year, you can improve it better. As a matter of fact, the 5th tip I give you guys today is something that I'm integrating into my planning this year that I really screwed up on last year. And I decided that this would be something I would integrate into my fall changeover, basically. But for right now, just think about any vitamin D supplements, maybe calcium, or any type of sunlight, maybe how you're eating carbs or protein. Maybe increase your carbs or protein if you are doing a lot outside, because with the cold, you do burn a lot of calories. And also make sure you're getting outside, because that's also important. It's very easy to keep yourself locked in to your house. Like I said, I like to hibernate, but at the same time, I'm going to make sure I'm getting out of the house for at least an hour a day, and things like that. Realistically, I'm going to get out more, because, you can't, as a human, we don't really hibernate yet. Eventually, humans, I think, are going to hibernate now that we are exposed to more cold climate than we ever have been in history. But for right now, it's not really accepted. Maybe, people will actually start thinking about, hey, using winter time as a hibernation period where we get to store our energy. What I found is by doing this, I have a lot more energy in the spring when I actually start to get active. But so now I'm going to move on to my fourth tip, which is just to have some kind of hobby that you're committing to. You have to give up a lot when the warm weather and long days go away. So if you find something you commit to, even if it's just something fun, I'm not always going to say it has to be crazy hard work, but something that you're investing your time into and allows you, I'm going to be honest, you kind of need dopamine. So something that's going to give you some kind of dopamine hit. I ordered God of War Ragnarok. I will be playing that all winter. If I beat it, I'm going to probably do the I hope they have like something unlocked at the end, basically, and I get my little dopamine hits from it. And I've also done this with other things like my robots and things like that. But this year, I'm playing God of War. I've been waiting for a while for it to come out, and they postponed it, and I'm not waiting this year. So all this stuff I'm doing is making sure that I have the time to do it. And this last one is definitely a big thing for probably most thinkers. And I screwed up last year because I didn't do this at all. Like, even when the time came to do this, I did not do this. And what this thing is buying Christmas gifts for other people. I did not do that, including my wife. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's true. I didn't. And so, you know what I'm going to do? By the end of next week, any Christmas gift that I'm buying for anybody, I'm going to buy. That way, I don't have to think about it for the rest of winter. Hopefully, I don't lose it in between. But if you want to make your life a little bit easier into the busy season, that's really, it's not so much about the winter in this. It's more that it's a busy season. I don't like going to the mall when it's packed and everything's on sale and you can't even get into a line without waiting for like an hour. That's probably why I didn't go last year. I don't really order a lot of things off Amazon. I would just tell my wife to order it if I was ordering something off of there, and I can't tell her to order her own gift. So basically, for her and anybody else that I plan to buy gifts for, I have to do it ahead of time. And I just have to let them sit there. And I won't have to think about it when it's actually time to give it to them. And I know a lot of thinkers ignore this. I hate giving gifts, but I've chosen to participate in life, and it's something I have to do. And just to make sure that it's out of the way, I'm going to do it as soon as possible. And I think I went through all 5 of my tips. I'm not sure if that was enough for you guys, but no one's in here, so it doesn't really matter. You guys will see this when you see it. And I'm going to finish this up, though. This was 11 minutes and 30 seconds. This was, I think, my shortest live stream yet. I have a bunch of other topics, actually. Since I've been doing these guys, topics are coming to me. So the more and more I do them, and I think they're going to get a little bit better, too, actually. But I want to make sure that I'm still giving some advice, along with just putting out worldviews and ideas. I'm trying to make sure that if you're going to waste any time watching me, that you're going to get some tips that will actually help you, especially when there are inevitable things that come up that are going to affect your development. So I hope you guys like it, and I will catch you on the next episode. Thanks.